Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Yesterday we have discussed what is reproduction, and also we have seen the types of reproduction, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. As I have already told you yesterday, this asexual reproduction, asexual, it has been derived from two Greek words, a and sexual. A means one or without, sexual means sexes, that is the type of reproduction which involves only one parent or which does not involve sexes, or the reproduction which is uniparental, in which new individuals are produced from a single parent. Now, this asexual reproduction, it is defined as the type of reproduction in which new individuals, that is young ones or plants or offsprings, are produced from specialized or non-specialized parts of the parent plant without meiosis and synagamy. And it is the type of reproduction in which new individuals, that is young ones, are produced from any specialized or non-specialized part of the plant without meiosis and synagamy. Now we will see first what is specialized and non-specialized part. Specialized part is a part of the plant which is specified for reproduction, and a non-specified part of a plant is that part, so far as the reproduction is concerned, which is not specialized for reproduction, which is not specialized for reproduction. So far as the specialized part is concerned, in plants it is represented by flower, and non-specialized parts are roots, stem, leaves, and buds. And these are the non-specialized parts of plant whose normal function is, primary function is, that is vegetative growth, and if they take part in reproduction, we call them those parts as non-specialized for reproduction, and flower is the specialized part. But if this flower or any part of the flower, it produces a new individual asexually, that is without meiosis and synagamy, then this is also known as asexual reproduction. So we can say this asexual reproduction is the type of reproduction in which new individuals, that is young ones, are produced from specialized or non-specialized parts of the parent plant without meiosis and synagamy. The new individuals here are generally produced from the somatic cells, chromatic cells. All the divisions are generally mitotic. All the divisions are mitotic, with the result the new individual which we get, it is genetically as well as morphologically, and the new individuals are genetically as well as morphologically similar to each other, and also similar to their parent. यानी यस mitosis में खासियत in mitosis a parent cell divides into two daughter cells which are quantitatively as well as qualitatively similar to each other and also similar to their parent. यानी mitosis खासियत ये एक सेल डिवाइड करा, यानी एक सेल mitosis गसा, यह बनावा ज daughter cells which are exactly quantitatively as well as qualitatively similar to the parent cell and also similar to each other. And we can say the new individuals, they are genetically as well as morphologically similar to each other and also similar to their parent. This uniform population of individuals, this uniform population of individuals produced asexually through asexual reproduction is called colon. Is called colon. You see, uniform population of individuals produced by asexual reproduction, which are genetically as well as morphologically similar, this is called colon. And all the individuals produced asexually, they are genetically as well as morphologically similar to each other and similar to their parents. This uniform population of individuals is called colon, and each member of the colon is called ramete. And each member of the colon is called, it is called ramete. Each member of the colon is called ramete. Now, this asexual reproduction is generally common in lower organisms, that is single-celled organisms, bacteria, protozoans, and also some lower plants and other animals. It is mostly common, and the various types of asexual reproduction which we generally see in lower organisms is binary fission, which is common in some lower organisms like amoeba and paramecium. Another type is that is budding. This is common in yeast. It is common in yeast. We have other types of asexual reproduction also. For example, in most of the members of kingdom fungi and some plants like algae, they reproduce by special types of spores which are of different types. For example, one of the most common spore is that is zoospore, which are usually microscopic and motile. And the most common asexual spore is called zoospore, which is microscopic and motile. And other asexual spores are conidia, which is the characteristic of a most important fungus that is known as penicillium, buds as we see in hydra, gemmules as we see in sponges. And these are some special reproductive structures, sexually reproducing structures by which lower organisms reproduce. So far as the higher plants are concerned, in higher plants, that is flowering plants, generally this asexual reproduction takes place by two ways. One we call as agamospermy, another we call as vegetative reproduction or vegetative propagation. Agamospermy and vegetative propagation. In agamospermy, first we will see this, the meaning of this term agamospermy. This agamospermy has been derived from three Greek words: agamos and spermy. A means without, gamos means fusion or marriage, spermy means seeds. So in short we can say this is the type of sexual production in which seeds or embryo is produced without marriage, that is without meiosis and syngamy, or in short we can say in which embryo and seeds they are produced asexually from a single parent, from somatic cells or from specialized cells of a plant, that is flower, but asexually this type of asexual reproduction it is known as agamospermy. This agamospermy it is further of three types: diplospory, which we also call a recurrent agamospermy, apospory, which is also called as non-recurrent agamospermy, and number third, that is advent agamospermy, or which we also call as advent embryonic. In diplospory or recurrent agamospermy, simply embryo develops from a diploid megaspore mother cell. Megaspore mother cell is diploid. Megaspore mother cell without meiosis. And generally, what we see at a megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis to produce haploid megaspores, but here directly this megaspore mother cell it produces an embryo, and this embryo later on produces the seed. In apospory or non-recurrent agamospermy, embryo develops embryo develops from a diploid sporophytic cell, from a diploid sporophytic cell, diploid sporophytic cell of the embryo sac, other than this megaspore mother cell. Any cell of the sporophytic, any sporophytic cell, it develops into an embryo. This is called non-recurrent or this apospory. Advent to embryony, in which a nuclear cell, a diploid nuclear cell or an integumentary cell, it develops into an embryo or seed. And in the cells of the integuments or nucleus, it develops into an embryo and seed. This type of agamospermy we call as advent to embryony. Now let me repeat, and I have told you asexual reproduction in it is that type of reproduction in which new individuals are produced from any specialized or non-specialized parts of a plant without meiosis and syngamy. All the divisions in this asexual reproduction they are mitotic, and generally the new individuals are produced from spermatic cells. With the result, the new population of individuals produced by this asexual reproduction that they are genetically as well as morphologically similar to each other and also similar to their parents. So we get a uniform population of individuals. This uniform population of individuals is called colony, and each member of this colony is called ramette. This asexual reproduction is generally common in lower organisms like unicellular animals, fungi, bacteria, protists, etc. And generally, we see that in lower organisms, this sexual reproduction takes place by binary fission. The example is amoeba and paramecium. Mostly examples are asked. Binary fission is the characteristic of amoeba and paramecium. Another method is that is budding, which we commonly see in yeast and some specialized types of spores, asexual spores, which we see in in fungi and some algae, like zoospores. These zoospores are microscopic and motile spores. Conidiospores are conidia, as we see in case of penicillium. Buds, as we see in case of hydra, and gemmules, as we see in case of sponges. Now, so far as the higher plants are concerned, this asexual production is of two types: agamospermy and vegetative reproduction. First, we will discuss this agamospermy. This agamospermy has been derived from three Greek words: agams and spermy. A means without or one, gams means fusion or marriage, spermy means seeds. So it is the type of reproduction in which seeds or embryo they are produced without marriage, that is without fusion, or asexually without meiosis and syngamy. This agamospermy, it is of three types, that is diplospory, recurrent agamospermy, apospory, or non-recurrent agamospermy, advent agamospermy. In diplospory, the embryo and seed that directly develops from megaspore mother cell. In apospory or non-recurrent agamospermy, embryo or seed develops from a diploid sporophytic cells of the embryo sac other than egg. In advent embryo and seed develops from a nuclear or integumentary cell. This is all about for the agamospermy. Thank you.